Justin today?
Depends which moment in the game you were referring to. At the start I thought this is great, this coaching game, but it was a bit of a momentum game. Ebbed and flowed, and then after that second quarter I thought it was going to go one way or the other way. So a bit of credit to our leaders, I think, at the end. Joel Patfull and Jed and Rocky. Daniel Merritt, when Westy went down, really held the ship. So it was a tough quarter, really, for us. It was an important quarter, that last one, and we come through, so I'm really impressed by that.
Justin, Rock hasn't had, until this year, that many tags. It's still reasonably new, and to work his way through it like that, can you just elaborate on his performance a little bit?
You've got a big head. I don't want to do that. He's an extremely important player for us, Tom. Not his leadership, his ability to set up, and his own output himself. He's happy to take on roles when needed. He's a team man. So hopefully that's what we want to rub off on all our players and our younger players coming through, that we're here for the team and we're here for a team cause, and we work together, we get the result, and we did that in the end.
How about the contribution of Brownie? 3 goals from the 8 touches, all was really important. Yeah,
he was. He didn't really. I don't think he came off at all tonight. And at the end, there was one point I thought he was going to fall on his face. He was that fatigued. So but he did really. He plays a really important role for us, Brownie. He brings the ball to ground countless times, and things that people don't even take note of, really. Yeah, he's not taking the big marks he used to, but he's playing an important role, and he brings Green and Zorko and Louis Taylor into the game. It's a real weapon for us, those three, and he provides that weapon for us by his contest work.
I think Dermot Brereton spoke earlier this week about his moral leadership. Do you think that was on display today?
Oh, well, Brownie's a leader, in all aspects. He's, and that's the reason why, one of the reasons why he's stuck around in his career is that how much he supplies to the rest of our playing group. He's so important both on and off it.
Justin, you hadn't been able to show at any stage really through the season that you could run out in the fourth quarter. How were you able to do that tonight when you were sort of 3 goals down?
I don't know, mate. I'll give you Brett Burton's number. You can ask him. A lot of time running's between the ears, isn't it? That sounds strange, but the ability to push yourself when you're fatigued. I think our red time scores were the best part of our game tonight, which has been the opposite. So try and explain AFL footy sometimes, who knows. But the important thing is we've built momentum in the month leading in, and people didn't see that, but the way we trained, the way we attacked it, we were actually, when you take the North Melbourne game, everything sort of fell to pieces a bit, but our training and everything we were doing was improving, and those inside would have seen it, and we saw a glimpse of it tonight. So the guys just have to take this momentum and confidence to know that when we play well as a team, we can get the result.
So it looked like you took the guys took a lot of confidence into that first quarter, and you had spoken about it being a really good week on the track on Friday. Yeah,
look, we come in fresh too. I mean, we had the bye, so maybe that had a little bit to do with it, of just jumping them a little bit. But in the end, that proved the difference, didn't it? Our initial jump was probably the bit that got us hanging on. But all in all, look, that result, it could have been determined a question of accuracy in the end, that sort of game as well. But at the end of the day, I'm happy for the win.
You mentioned the leaders. The high points up until now of the season have probably been the performance of kids, and I know you don't want to be too critical, but some of your important players have been below par. But I reckon if you were to name the 5 oldest blokes, they were probably the 5 best players tonight.
Yeah, and we need that every week. And you're right, if we keep our leaders being our best players, it'll allow Aish and Louis Taylor, and Darcy Gardner and Justin Clark to have their ups and downs within games, because we can remain solid. We don't want our best players being our youngest players. We want them to fill roles for us, and not feel the pressure of that. So it's important that this continues and they build themselves. Whether you're 18 or 30, you still need to build confidence in your performance, and it was good for them to do that.
Is there confirmation on Trent West?
Not as yet. Initial reports sounded that didn't sound good, but you hate to go off what was sort of run down the phone from you by the doc when it happened. I mean, he sort of doesn't look great, and that's sort of what you hear, but I haven't had confirmation other than that from them. You normally have to wait for scans and things. They don't like to put themselves on the line too much, the doctors, and make a big call. They normally like wait for the scans first.
So if it's not good news, obviously with Leuenberger out already, that leaves a massive hole. How are you?
Steph Martin's played the last 2 games in the reserves and dominated. So he can fill that role. Otherwise, we've got young Archie Smith, another debut, so number 8.
Would you seriously consider that? Because you've been excited by him. And
Yeah, I'm excited by him, actually. I love the way Archie plays. I just think he's a You know, he's a basketball convert, and they're really exciting to watch. And I think what his work around the ruck would be terrific. It's just whether the kid's ready. That's it. And I don't want to throw him in if he needs a bit of time, and that conversation we'll have. But Steph's the mature head that's, as I said, come back from injury, played a couple of games. So at this point in time, things change. He's a logical choice, but yeah, my heart, you know, would like to see another one go around.
What did you think when you saw West go down? Not only his injury, but then you've got to throw Rog into the fire for the rest of the match.
What do you reckon? Can this year get any worse? No, look, the positive that we're a resilient group. I think what this year is going to do for us is build a resilient group in the long run, which is a great thing.
This will probably be your first chance to build your own list. Ruck's been a curse at Brisbane. Like, can you ever have enough of them?
Yeah,
on your
good point,
list,
actually. Dating back
throughout
to
your playing career and
good point.
Always,
actually.
yeah.
Dating back to Clark Keating, Owen McDonald. Yeah, you don't want to be nervous if you're a ruckman drafted to Brisbane, wouldn't you? Just never take the field. So maybe we just did not play one. Game changer. So.
Well, do you think that they got like? He got 57 hit outs. Robbie Warnock.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it, but it didn't really.
In all seriousness, it did hurt us. His hit outs to advantage was a big difference in the contested ball differential number tonight. That was the biggest part of that number. So that dominance sort of hurt us a bit. We're very thankful that they kicked from centre bounce, 2 goals from centre bounce. It could have been a massacre in there, the way it was heading for a while. So we're probably fortunate our backs held up under a bit of pressure because it went inside 50 quite a lot from centre bounce. So credit to the backs to sort of keep that number at a reasonable level.
So the best thing about tonight was just the fact that in a really tight, tough game, your blokes held on in the last term and turned it around.
That's pretty much it. We know we're competitive against the bottom half of the ladder. I've said it before, to the point of victory, and sometimes not. Essendon, we didn't quite do it. Richmond, we fell over in the end. Carlton, we fought through to the end. But I'm quite confident we're very consistently ready to challenge these teams in this part of the grouping. I know the 1 and 8 or whatever it was, 1 and 9 doesn't look great, but I know when we get our list back together and our competitiveness where it needs to be, we're not the worst team in the competition, and I've got quite belief in that, and I know the wins are going to build from here on in.
Thanks, George.